The cigar box itself has kind of an interesting history. It wasn't until 1844 that a gentleman of German descent, he had moved to Havana, Cuba, to take care of some financing, business dealings, and things like that for one of his company in Europe. And he came across a cigar factory that he could purchase. And so he actually purchased this cigar factory. And one of the boxes here is kind of named after him. His name was Herman Upman. It's this kind of blue one, and so this H. Upman became this cigar company. And what he found out was that he wanted to ship the cigars back to Europe from Havana. And how do you keep them from drying out, on the long journey back across the ocean? And so he came up with this cigar box idea to be made out of Spanish cedar. So Spanish cedar was the choice because it held some moisture. So it acted kind of like a humidor in a box. And so when they would pack them onto the ships and send them back to Europe, the cigars were in these boxes, tightly packaged, and they didn't dry out. So that was the invention of the cigar box. And then about maybe 20 years later, as cigars, kept coming into the United States, of course, our government figured out we got to tax this stuff. We got to get taxes. Yeah. And so they ended up requiring the cigar to come in the boxes, because then they could easily put a tax stamp on for 20, 40, 60, 50, whatever in a box, and they could easily count the number of cigars that they needed, that they could tax. And so in 1865-ish, all these cigar boxes, were plentiful, especially in the South, the southern states and things. And so it was then that people, because of lack of means, or lack of production of a musical instrument and that kind of thing, started to realize that these cigar boxes could be turned into a musical instrument. Had some properties, some acoustic properties that they could take advantage of. If they could find some strings, people talk about baling wire being the early strings that they used. And I don't know how they ended up figuring out the tuners, because that's something I haven't been able to figure out how you make your own, so I buy them. But they were able to make these instruments, sometimes 1 string, 2 strings, 3 strings, and of course that would enhance their celebrations and their gatherings, and they played music. And of course at that same time, the blues, the Delta blues, was really resonating in that area, and the birth of the blues in the Delta, Mississippi Delta, kind of came to being, really a lot of it because of these first rudimentary instruments that a lot of those early blues musicians played on. So kind of interesting history of the cigar box itself. And I'll cover one more thing about an interesting American history about cigars in a minute. But if you want to come up and look at this, again, Sophie Kruger here from the Arts Center was so generous with her abilities. I can only go so far, as you can see, with my artistic ability. It's pretty plain, right? Whatever I can do with a can of spray paint or some stain. But Sophie takes it to the next level when she designs it specifically for the Bowlful of Blues for the South Skunk Blues Society, and that's what makes this guitar so special. It's kind of a collaboration of music, of art, design, and So it makes it fun for the South Skunk to raffle this off, at the Bowlful of Blues tomorrow, and people look at it and decide, they don't even know if they would ever even play it, right? Because they just want to display it up on their mantles, their man caves, their places that they could decorate with. And so it kind of makes a worthy conversation piece and all that. And so it just, this year's box, this is the third year that we've tried this, and this year's box, I think, just takes it to the next level. And so,
That's awesome.
yeah. So by all means, come up and you can take a look at it. That's what it's there for.